Hello, nice to see you. I haven't done a video like this in a long time, a year exactly. So the last video was how I'm doing maternity leave as a self-employed illustrator 1 month in, and it's now a year since that, so it's like a month and a year into juggling being an illustrator and having a baby. So yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about it because a lot has changed in that year, and it's also gone so fast. Like how's it been a year? I don't even know. But yeah, let's get into it. If you've not met me before, hello, my name's Katie. I'm an illustrator, and I specialise in live event illustration. So I like draw pictures while people are talking, and I've done that for like Google and Facebook and Apple. And then I'm also a co-founder of the Good Ship Illustration, and we make courses and we have a podcast, and it's all just to help illustrators navigate a creative career. Okay, that's out of the way. That's the boring bit. Yeah, I suppose I haven't got notes or anything. It's nap time for the baby, so I'm awake. Just yeah, I mean, I've got some, actually it's probably easiest to start with the questions people asked. So I was like, has anyone got any questions? JW Steele said, sorry, I'm like craning over to read it. How do you manage working plus looking after the wee baby? How? So that's a good question. So in the very, very early days, in the maternity leave video, you'll see that I did take a month properly off, didn't do any work. I like peaked at the Good Ship stuff, and that was about it. And then about 6 weeks in, I did my first proper job again. And to start with, in those very early newborn days, I just had the baby strapped to me all the time, which is lovely. Actually, it's like having a cuddle all the time. But I would work when she was napping, and if the job didn't line up with a nap, because it's live event stuff, I can't always make it work. I would just ask my mother-in-law or my husband to take her for a walk. And yeah, the nice thing about my job is like a job will last 1 hour or 90 minutes, and especially in those early days I wasn't saying yes to long things. So really the answer to how do I manage working and looking after a baby is I didn't do them both at the same time, and I also had lots of help. So yeah, family members have been amazing looking after the baby lots, and I did have I hired a babysitter when I wanted to do longer stretches of time, and it was March, I got onto the British Library Get Ready for Business Growth mentoring thing, which was really exciting. But the trickiest bit was that the Zoom calls, the trainings and stuff were like 3 hours at a time, and it was always not at nap time. I was like, oh my god, how am I going to do this? So that really, it was a kick up the bum kind of to book the babysitter to come and look after the baby, so that I could go to the studio and really concentrate on those live trainings, because I didn't want to be multitasking, and also it's like it's not fair on the baby, especially now that she's bigger. Because yeah, I feel like in the newborn stage they don't really know like they're just like a little blob that eats and poops and sleeps and they're just lovely, and then very quickly that is not the case anymore. So yes, that sort of answers that question. And then now she's just started nursery, which is very exciting. So she's doing 3 mornings a week, and it means that I've got those 3 set times to be doing work. And then also she has an afternoon nap like now, and still require lots of help as well. So like if we go out at night time, like people babysit and things. So really, you know, the really annoying cliche thing, it takes a village and all that, it totally just takes lots of people helping all the time with everything. Yes. Lani said, how is the reality of the last year compared to your expectations back then? Ooh, that's a good one. So I did not expect it to feel so hard to book childcare, because the whole time I was pregnant I was like, it's gonna be fine, I'm just gonna book childcare and then I'll go back to work, no big deal. And then when it came to it I was like, I don't want to leave the baby with anybody, which is obviously totally normal and nice. So I suppose it's like nature as well, isn't it? Because especially when you're like feeding the baby yourself, you literally can't really be away. Like 3 hours was the maximum for both of us, I feel. So there was that, and I've got better, and now she's totally weaned on solid food. That like it makes it slightly easier. And also I felt when she was 1, I felt really ready to be like properly doing work again. So I'm only like a couple of weeks into that, the childcare, like the nursery thing. So that's been really nice. Yeah. Ma the Scribbler says, how do you make time? Oh, I don't make time. There's no time. I have no time. I was just thinking that. So I've got like 4-hour chunks in the morning, but then by the time you get to the studio and leave, it's really only 3 hours of work time because there's a lot of faffing either side. So I'm just having to be really, really ruthless about what I do and what I don't do, and stop saying yes to everything, because it's too easy to do. I just get excited and say yes. But yeah, in the times, so making time, there've been a couple of times where I've had big jobs and big deadlines, and I've had to do really rubbish things like stay up really late to work, which I hate doing. I'm not a night owl at all. So the alternative to that is getting up really early, but then you know what babies are like, so I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna get up at 6 and work, but then she'll get up at 6:15, so it doesn't really work. And yet again, the only reliable way to get work done is to have somebody looking after her so that I can go work, which I like, because it's like when I'm at home, I'm just at home, I'm not trying to work at the same time, because that's really stressful and really horrible for both of us, because she's like, why are you looking at your laptop? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know. So I've like been trying to really separate them, and my 3 mornings a week in the studio are work time. If I need extra time, I can get more help and childcare, but for now that's a nice amount of time. Flower and Ink says, do you find you get most work done in nap time? No, not at all. So I used to, when she was really little and had like 5 naps a day. That was mad, like 5 short naps a day. I used to kind of try and get things done then, but now if she's napping, it means we're at home. Honestly, it's just like putting the house back together, because she's at that age where like things get pulled out of drawers and there's a trail of destruction. So the nap time is staring at a wall and just having quiet time, and tidying, putting things away and putting a bit of washing on, really boring stuff. And yeah, if I've got loads of work on and I'm a bit stressed about that, like a deadline or something, I will do work during nap time. But then the living in a bomb site thing happens, so it's weighing up options. Yeah. Next question. What does a typical week look like for you at the moment? That's a nice question. Okay, so Monday morning, she's in nursery, I'm at the studio, so I have my 4 hours in the studio, and I've just introduced a thing of having like themed days. So I'm trying to, in the past I had all my meetings on a Wednesday afternoon. I'm trying to keep all my meetings on one day, because when they start to spread, I don't know about you, but if there's a meeting on a day, it just kind of derails my whole day and I can't really concentrate on anything because I'm just waiting to go to the meeting. So yeah, Monday I have as like a creating day, like for writing things, making this video for instance, it's a Monday. And yeah, when I get to the studio I have my list ready before I even get there, so I know what I'm going to be tackling. So like today for instance, I had some edits to do for a mural design. I had a couple of emails to respond to. I had to phone a hotel because I'm going away at the weekend. Something like I had a question about check-in times, and then I had a podcast interview, and then that was the end of the day. And then this afternoon she's sleeping now, but I think when the baby's awake we will go to the park, have a bit of a play, have a snack, and then when we get home it'll be tea time, and then it'll be bedtime. Like the day just goes like pew, so fast. And tomorrow it'll be the same. In the afternoon it'll be the same, like baby time. In the morning I've got it's very podcast heavy week this week, but I've got a meeting about a website design tomorrow, and then Wednesday I've got a podcast. So there's just like little piddly things that are in there, but I'm very aware, because I only have that certain chunk of time, I do need to get a bit more strategic about what I'm doing, because I feel like because I've got meetings every day this week, it just feels really scattered, and like I'm not gonna get like a nice head down focus for 3 hours and then surface at the end. I really like working like that, so I'm looking at ways to get that in more. And then Thursday I have it as like a catch-up day if I need to, but my goal is to not need to catch up on anything, and I can just relax and be at home. We go visiting grandparents and stuff, and then on a Friday I'm off as well, and we tend to there's like a nice baby group on a Friday morning. We go and we sing nursery rhymes and see some friends for coffee, and then in the afternoon we'll do something all together as a family, or like have lunch together. It's very nice. And then the weekends are just I float around again. So there's a lot of floating around, but if you have a baby, you know that it's not really floating around because there's a lot of like, I don't know, it's just like you're always needed, so you're not really off at all. And yeah, it's been, I think maternity leave has been nice. The very short month off properly, but then the whole year in general has made me slow down a lot, because I used to just work whenever I could all the time, and now I don't want to do that, and I'm not doing it. And yeah, I've built in some more boundaries, so like even in my email signature, like I've had some clients that were really like, why are you like, we need a quicker response, blah, blah, but I'm like, I need 2 days to respond, I don't work Fridays, so if you email me on a Friday, you're going to be waiting, you know, or if you email me on a Thursday, I mean, you'll be waiting till Monday the earliest, maybe even Tuesday, and that means that there's less like email inbox stress, which I do like. Yes, let's see, there's another one. I'm just on, this is my you're like leaning on my laptop. Let's see. Yeah, a couple of the same sort of question. Alexa and Molly's, what's like plans versus reality, how it worked out. I feel like I just didn't know what to expect, and maybe that's a good thing. Because I'd been a nanny, I knew that babies are hard work, but nice. So that's been what I expected, I suppose. Yeah, the childcare thing, I didn't expect that to be hard. Yeah, and then there's one from Bookishly Happy saying, I want to hire a babysitter on the weekends, but my family looks down on that. Oh man, that's something I think like other people's opinions comes into it a lot, doesn't it? And even the fact that I didn't really take a very long maternity leave. Well, I'll pause that. I'll answer this question. So yeah, I'm so sorry that your family looks down on that. Have they actually said that, or are you like thinking they say that? Because I think a lot of the time we can assume people are thinking things, but ultimately, if your family looks down on that, like they could help. That's always a good one. Like if you think hiring a babysitter is so bad, like please help, have some babysit my child, please, so that I can have some me time or do whatever I need to do without the baby. But yeah, that is rough. And yeah, the other people's opinions things is hard, because I don't know about you, but I am a professional mind reader, so I know that people are thinking terrible things all the time. But the maternity leave, I took 1 month off and then I just went back to work. But I love what I do. I really, like, after I've done a morning, even just a morning of work, I feel so happy and so like, I don't know, I feel like useful, and I just really like feeling useful. And for me, I think if I'd taken like a year completely off and just stopped doing any work, I think it would have been like bad on my mental health. I don't know. I just really love working. I love my job. And yeah, like the live illustration is really fun. I get to work with big exciting clients and do these fast-paced projects and things. And then with the Good Ship, I work with Helen and Tanya, who are my pals, and it doesn't really feel like work because we're like just hanging out and chatting, making podcasts and things. So it's I would definitely feel differently if I worked in like a traditional office environment, or like had a normal 9 to 5. I would have been like, goodbye, I am off, I will see you later, and I'd have probably started a business or something in my maternity leave. But yeah, I'm glad that things have worked out the way they do, and that I have a job that I like. And it was also nice because I chose not to take maternity allowance, because in the UK you get, I can't remember what the payment is. It was an amount that didn't make sense for me, because then if you take the maternity allowance, you're technically not allowed to work to earn money. I think you could earn money if you weren't actively working for it. I didn't understand, basically, and I was like, I don't want to even have to worry about not working. I just want to be able to work and earn, and not be like, not have the government telling me off for anything. And that has worked out nicely. And income wise, I definitely earned less this year, but that was expected. And the accountant was like, wow, you've like still made a decent amount even though you've been working. And then they were like, have you been working a lot? And I was like, I've basically hardly worked at all, by my own standards. So they were like, oh, well, that's good. Yeah, it was interesting. Like when I told them I was having a baby, they were like, oh, your profits will be down. And so I was almost like, I'll show you, I'm gonna have a bumper year. And then I quickly, like when the baby arrived, I was like, I do not care. Like accountants' opinions and profits and things, they do not matter anymore. I'm just gonna enjoy myself. And yeah, I feel like I did the right amount of maternity leave and work for me. And it's funny now, if I see people on Instagram that have got a newborn baby and they're showing up on stories and things, I want to be like, what are you doing? Get off Instagram, go and lie down and things. And you always get like protective of people, but you know, honestly, it really doesn't matter. And it's so easy to have opinions on other people's work baby juggle. Yeah. Let's see if any more. I think that might be all of them. Oh yeah, how much help do you get from your partner, family, or other people? I think I've mentioned that already, but a lot of help. So my mother-in-law helps a lot, and even has had sleepovers so that we've been able to go to like weddings that are away. And what else? Yeah, we had a babysitter. She's going to university now, rude, but she's in like baby's in nursery, so that's all right. And I feel like this is very garbled, but that's basically I get loads of help. My partner helps loads with everything. Yeah, that's it really. I feel like that's covered it all. But generally, I mean, a lot of friends have told me like that first year is the hardest. Maybe hard sounds negative. It's just like in the same way that running is hard. You don't feel like you're gonna die or anything, but it's not. And it's fun, but it's not always nice. Like there's some bits like the sleep, because I've got a very sleepy baby. I've passed on my sloth genes to this child, which has been, touch wood, very nice. But you know what it's like when they're teething or they're ill and then you don't get any sleep, or in the very early newborn days when they don't even know what day and night is and you're just up. That was really hard because I just love sleep so much. And yeah, for a while it felt like things would get okay, and then something else would happen, and then the sleep would be messed up, and it was like that sort of roller coaster for ages. And you just, even now, you get into a routine. You're like, oh, this is how that works. Oh, that totally makes sense. I totally sussed it. I know my bit, and then it changes again, and then you're like, oh, I don't even know anything. How am I supposed to like look after this child if she changes what she responds to and likes every single week? So yeah, you've just. If you're a control freak, it's annoying. I'm not a control freak, but I feel like just wanting to know how things go is impossible because it changes all the time. So yes, I hope this has been helpful. I feel like I've just rambled, but better done than perfect. I was gonna like go to the studio and put the lights on and things, but then, like I was talking about, I'm trying to make the most of those 4 hours in the studio to get really strategic, useful work done. So speaking of which, at the Good Ship we're working on the business course at the moment, which will be ready this autumn. So I'm speaking to you in August 2023. It'll be ready soon. And yeah, I'm just pouring my entire illustration business brain is being poured into this course, because I feel like when I left uni, even at uni, I was desperate. I was like, tell me about how to run a business. I want to like actually make money from being an illustrator. And it was doable, but I felt like you had to like piece it together from so many different sources. So I'm hoping what we create is like a really useful thing that will help you make money from your illustration and have a good time, and also like set up a way of working that works for you. Like, because especially if you've left a normal 9-to-5 job, being able even just to choose your own hours is miraculous, and set your own rates and all that. So I'll stop. I don't want to turn this into a sales pitch. I'm just excited. So yeah, I hope, I've already said I hope this was helpful. I'm just gonna say goodbye now. Goodbye. Thank you for watching if you made it this far, and I'll see you soon.